Yo, hey guys, SmallmouthCrush. I wanted to make a quick video recapping since we're coming to the end of the 2020 fishing season, which I think is a good thing. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'm glad to see that 2020 is coming to an end. Hopefully 2021 will be a lot better. But I want to do a recap video of my 2020 Nitro Z21, things I loved about it, and some things I would change for next year's boat. There's a few things. So I wanted to go over that because we did a video that I'll have in the description below of the actual boat build this past spring, and some of my expectations and different ways of rigging the boat and how I had things set up. So if you want to take a look at that video, feel free to take a look at that after this one. So let's get into it. Alright, so I'm at Bowers Marine. They're located in Reading, PA. It is where I get all my nitros. They're also a Ranger dealer. They do service work as well. Do a great job. Make sure I'm on the water if I have any issues. I buy all my boats from them, so I encourage you guys, if you're in a 3, 4, 5, 6 hour radius, to give them a call when you're looking at getting into a new boat, whether it be a Ranger or a Nitro. So this boat is awesome. I love it. This is my second Nitro I've owned. So I owned a 2019 and now a 2020. And actually I'm going to be placing my order for the 2021 Nitro yet today. And so this boat's going to be for sale soon, probably on Bass Boat Central. You can also follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram at SmallmouthCrush, to find out if you want to learn more information as far as pricing, what's all included with the sale of this boat. So I think we're going to start back here and work our way to the bow of the boat. First thing, of course, is the Mercury 250 Pro XS 4-stroke. It's my second year running a 4-stroke. Awesome motor. I can't imagine running any other motor out there. I love it. So the Mercury Pro XS has been a great motor for me. Although, I tell the truth, right? I did have a lower unit go out, which kind of messed me up in a tournament up on the St. Lawrence River this past summer. And so it happens, guys. Just like anything mechanical, it's going to happen. The good news is Bowers got me back on the water pretty quick, and so you know, everything's covered on warranty. It is what it is, but I love this motor. I'm never going to use a different brand ever. And of course, you can see I did do the decals blue. I think it really pops, makes the it matches the boat colors. It took a long time to get those decals off when I did make the switch, so be prepared to waste a bunch of your time trying to peel the stickers if you want to get like some cool custom design to match the color scheme of your boat. So of course we have the Leash, which is down here. So the Leash is basically a device that allows you to bolt into your jack plate and goes around the motor in the event that you hit something. If you're under power and you're heading down the lake and you hit a log or hit a rock pile or whatever the case may be, there's been cases where that motor's actually, the bolts break and the motor flips into the cockpit of your boat and can really screw you up. So it's definitely an important safety feature, especially, I mean, just even if you're by yourself, you don't want a motor chopping off your leg, right? If that was to happen. It's just an extra safety precaution, but since I guide a lot and I have strangers in my boat that, you know, I'm in charge of making sure they're safe, that's going to be something that's always on the boat. My concerns with the Leash was the fact that it would rub on the cowling or the lower unit and scratch things up. And so what I did was I used some protective foam, and you guys can see all that in my original video when I put this boat together. And I also found a neoprene sleeve that I can wrap around it. And then of course we got the power poles. I run 10-foot blades. I've used power poles for every bass boat I've ever owned, and I'll always use power poles. I love them. I love them. I like them over the competition that's out there. I just feel that they're a solid piece of equipment. They don't let me down. Rarely have I had any issues. I mean, looking back over the 10 years that I've been using power poles, I may have had one pump go bad that whole time, and guess what? It's a quick phone call to customer service, and then they ship out a new pump the next day. I mean, it's really the best customer service in the marine industry, in my opinion, is power pole. Plus the dudes that work there are awesome bunch of guys. Like power pole, I'm always going to be running power poles on my boat. So really, 8-foot poles are kind of the standard size. I like to use the 10-foot poles. I fish a little bit deeper water up north here. in the northeastern part of the country. And so it does come in handy. I think I could get away with 8-foot poles, but I prefer going with just having that extra 2 feet. I think makes a difference at times. Tell you another thing these come into play is when I'm launching a boat, especially when I'm by myself or if I'm meeting some clients in the morning at the ramp. All I do is unhitch the boat from the trailer, take the straps off, back it in, let the boat slide off the trailer, hit my remote control in the truck. I don't even get out of the truck. Pulls deploy, holds the boat right there. Of course, you got to do it when you got fairly calm conditions and your boat's just going to sit there, not bang up against the dock. But I do it all the time. It saves a lot of time. It's so efficient and so quick being able to launch the boat using your power poles. And then, of course, just holding in place. Yes, today's trolling motors have spot lock and can hold you, with a press of a button, usually. I still feel that in shallower water, 10 feet or less, when I deploy them power poles and I can hold on a piece of structure without having to disturb the water with the trolling motor, I still find it real beneficial to run those, even with today's trolling motors that have spot lock and whatnot. So, oh geez. I see we got a little friend that decided to join us on our filming of the boat here, so that's not cool. I ain't liking that one bit. As you can see the back here of the compartment, this stayed pretty clean and nice and neat all season for me. I'm running the lithium batteries for my trolling motor, and I have 2 starting batteries, AGM, for the main motor as well as my graphs. I am going to be looking at some different options for 2021, so look forward to making a video on what I decide to go with moving forward. But you can see way back in the corner here, don't know if you can make that black box out, but that guy right there is what impressed me the most about this setup for 2020. That is the power pole charge system, and it's like magic, pure magic. All right, so the power pole charge, I was a little bit, I guess, nervous when I first put it in the boat because I didn't know anything about it, and it just seemed like, how is that even possible that it does what they say it does? And I'm gonna try to explain, because I suck at batteries and voltage and knowing any of that stuff, okay? I struggle. That's a weakness of mine. The stealth charging system, first of all, my experience with charging systems in the past is they've always failed me. They never work. I'm always carrying spare lithium chargers, I'm carrying spare AGM chargers, extra extension cords, plug-ins. I've had a lot of issues looking back over the years when it comes to chargers, especially the night before a tournament, right? Or day 2 of a big event. It's been something that's haunted me, really. It seems like that was just part of the game, was battery issues. And so that's why I was nervous when I put it in, because I've never had good luck with battery chargers, ever. There's Matt.
Waiting on your ass to get to home.
Okay, I just figured out everything. I figured out life. This is what tournament fishing is all about. It sucks. I say it. I don't care. I'm frustrated
So
to
you
the.
want to be a professional bass fisher?
Yeah. So you want to do this? This is what I do every day, it seems, during a tournament. My 4-bank charger doesn't work. And my lithium battery charger, because my stealth doesn't work either now, and my lithium backup didn't work for some reason. Nothing works. Nothing works. So I had to call 3 different Walmarts 2 hours ago, and you know how that is at 10 o'clock in Buffalo, New York. Nobody answers the phone, and when they do, they go, are those big batteries you're looking for, or the little ones for a flashlight? Really? Really? No, I need some 29s or something, 29 series. So I ran all over the place. Let me show you what I got, because first of all, they're probably not going to be charged. So I had to buy all, and I don't have time. I got 4 hours. I got to put all new batteries in at midnight. Well, first I have to charge them. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I even got a starting battery. I don't know. I went overboard. Look at all these chargers I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm nuts. That's what happens we got to deal with this wreck. Unreal. Got to deal with this mess here. Well, I probably won't get any sleep. See you guys at the ramp in the morning. Well, it turns out that this thing here, this power pole charge has not let me down all year. And I've put a lot of charge time on my batteries. I fish from sun up till sundown pretty much every day. April, May, June, July, August, September, okay? I'm on the water pretty much every day. And so I put it through the test. I'm using my trolling modes, I'm in big waves, I'm using energy, I'm using voltage, I'm using my graphs, and for a charging system to keep up with the demands, and from what I found, how well it's worked for me, peace of mind, I don't even think about it anymore. So in fact, I got so comfortable with this system that I literally come in, put the charger on, plug it in, and then go do whatever I got to do, and I don't even think about it. I don't go back. I don't have to get up at midnight, go out to my boat, make sure my batteries are green. I don't have to worry in the morning. I don't even look at it. I never, honestly, rarely do I even take a peek to see how those batteries are doing. I plug it in, and then when I get up in the morning, I unplug it, and away I go. It has let me down 0 times. It's the best investment I can tell you when it comes. If you guys have issues with chargers, if you've been in my situation, I really encourage you to take a hard look at the power pole charge. So it's bi-directional charging system. So it can charge your lithiums, it can charge your AGMs, it can give you power to whatever battery needs power throughout the day. It gives you emergency jump on your big motor. Like I said, I don't know the technical terms of it or how it even does what it does. It's pure magic in my mind. And so that charger will always be in my boat from this point forward. And it's so nice not having to worry about battery issues. And the thing is, look how compact that is. So that is just anchored to the side of the boat back there, totally out of the way. It's got a couple flashing lights. I have a phone app so I can see how everything's charging if I choose to do that. It's just a perfect system. And like I said, never ever have a single issue with it. You guys notice here I have some automotive tape as well as some, I guess, sticky padding foam I ran on the borders of these. What this does is just prevent scratches and stuff from the lids banging on the fiberglass constantly. And it looks like it held up real good for me all year. When I go to sell it, I guess I'll just take it all off and it's going to look brand new underneath there. So I definitely suggest taking the time, and you'll see in my original video when I put this all together that I took some time putting this on all my compartment lids in the boat. So we're not going to have any scratches or any marks because of it. Pretty much basic here, this middle compartment, I like it. I like it a lot. I wish it was a little bit deeper. So on my last boat I had a custom-made storage. This one now comes with the boat. Now if you get this, you can't have a third seat. So when I'm guiding and I have 3 people in the boat, somebody gets to sit, I call it in the lucky seat, and they basically just sit on a boat cushion, and it's not bad. I mean, I've ran in some pretty big waves with the third person, and they just deal with it as long as they're not too old. So we open this up. There's not a lot of room. I wish the tray was just a little bit deeper, but it's efficient. It works. Of course, the live wells, they're awesome in the nitro, so no issues there. So if we come over here to the cockpit, you can see I'm running Garmin and Hummingbird. Both graphs have been very good. The Garmin graphs have not let me down at all. So the Hummingbird actually started freezing up on me a time or two, probably about half a dozen times, where I had to physically unplug it and plug it back in and reboot it. I've used Hummingbirds quite a bit in my life, and that is a common thing that I find happens. They'll freeze up, or they'll get color screens on their lines. They're not as reliable as, say, a Garmin, but they fill a need for me. So I really like the side imaging on the Hummingbird versus the Garmin's, although Garmin is very close. They've come a long ways, and I'm to the point where I probably could get by just running Garmin, but I got some plans for next year that it's going to involve a Hummingbird as well, and we'll get into that as we talk about the graphs up front here. So these sit on that Bass Boat Technologies mount. Perfect mounting system for the boat. I love it. The only thing I wish I could do different is you can see there's about an inch height. The Garmin sits up a little bit more. I'd like to see that more even, okay? And I'm sure it's just a matter of customizing this bracket here. So, and that's just me being me, right? For most guys, it's not a big deal. But I like to see just evenness, right? I like things even. That's just my quirkiness, I guess. You know, this touch panel here has held up for me. That was one of my concerns when I first got the boat, because this is the first year of having just an all touch pad, and so it works. But I do have an extra one in case it ever was to go out. I can pop a new one in, because that controls everything, all your pumps, everything. So it's important that that thing works, and it hasn't let me down. The bow, the workstation for me. The two Garmins with Livescope here, straight down and forward. What can I say? It's a very useful tool, okay? We'll put it that way. Next year, I'm gonna keep it the same. I'm gonna have two Livescopes at the bow, but I'm also gonna be adding a 360, Mega 360. I didn't want to, but I learned a lot this year running these two Livescopes together, and I think it would just give me a little bit, it'll make my job to Livescope for fish a lot easier than having to look for structure and fish at the same time, if that makes sense. I think adding that 360 obviously is going to give me a 360 look, so I can find those little boulders or whatever the case may be, little rock clumps, and then I can take, actually here's a good point. Say my boat's sitting right here, okay, and you see right there's a little rock pile there in their driveway. That's where all those big smallmouth are holding. But if I'm in big waves, or if I'm on spot lock and I want to know if there's fish on that, and my trolling motor's stuck in one position, I can't exactly know where that rock pile is. I mean, I have an idea, but having an idea and knowing are two different things. I've been on wave points where I'm fishing a one boulder right here, right? And I have to make a cast with a bait this big in 35 feet of water, and those fish are on that particular boulder. They're not 20 feet this way, okay? They're on it. I need to be on that, especially in big 3-4 foot waves. It can be difficult. So I guess put it this way, if I had to pick between the two, if you say you can only have Livescope or 360, I would definitely choose Livescope. But if you can have two, the better off you'll be. And so we're gonna make it work. I gotta figure out some unique ways to mount for next year. I have to figure out if Bass Boat Technologies can make a triple mount, or maybe I'll just have it sitting here. The only problem I think I'm gonna have, because I'm running two Livescopes, one on the actual trolling motor, one on the shaft, I don't know if I'm going to be able to run a 360 as well as a Livescope transducer on the shaft. So if that's the case, I might look into just a separate pole for my 360. I know a lot of guys are coming out with poles that you can either use remotes or turn manually at the bow, and I think that might be good for someone who's anchored or in a position on it. What I like to do with that Livescope is actually track down fish, and I have to stay on those fish, especially in those big waves, manually with my foot, and so I have and then be able to cast. There's no way I can have one hand dealing with that, dealing with the trolling motor and trying to make an accurate cast. So I need to have that Livescope seeing whichever way I'm using my foot to look for those fish, if that makes sense. So having it on a separate pole where I have to turn it manually would not be an option. But putting that 360 on probably would work for me. I just got to find the perfect setup, guys. In the comments below, I know this video will come out probably here in October, but let me know if you have any solutions that I should maybe be looking into. I'm going to do some serious investigating over the winter here before I rig up my new boat. All right, then we got the Garmin Force, right? The Garmin Force trolling motor. Had big expectations for this trolling motor moving forward into 2020, being it's brushless, that it's super quiet, and it's fast. That is the truth. But guess what? For me, it's cost me a bunch of money, 5, 6, 7, 8 grand in lost revenue due to lost days on the water because of issues. So this is my third Garmin. You guys know I'm not gonna beat around the bush with you. I've had some pretty bad success with this Garmin this year. I fish every day, okay? So the guy that fishes every other day, or every other week, or a couple times a week, or 8 times a month, you can go on the message boards and read that they don't have any issues with it. Yeah, fine, maybe, but I'm fishing big water. I got issues with this. The first time I had an issue, it just kind of shut off. They sent me a brand new one. It was frustrating. The second issue was something with the steering. So it was never in the foot pedal or any of that. It was actually the unit. So I had to take time off. I had to cancel guide trips. I had to drive 5 hours back down here to my dealer, especially when I'm up on Lake Ontario. And I have to wait for Garmin to send a replacement. Now listen, I'll give them the benefit. I'll tell you what, they do have good customer service, but I don't know how they're going to be able to stay in business when they have to keep sending out new trolling motors to everybody, because I'm not the only one. But I'm not going to keep harping on that. You guys, I went into it in a recent tournament video where it really messed with my head because a couple things. Even when the unit does work perfectly and I can mess with gain, I can do the whatever you got to do, calibration, and it'll be perfect. Yet when I put on spot lock, whether it be 4-foot waves or dead calm, this thing is going to push me back 10 feet and then take me back to where I want it to be anchor locked. So that makes no sense. That was super frustrating. That happened every time I hit spot lock this year. Besides it breaking, that happened, and then guess what? Here's something really weird. Now granted, I have a shorter shaft. Well, I didn't think it was that short. It's a 50-inch shaft, but I guess I need a little bit bigger shaft because every time that that trolling motor comes out of the water, when it's on anchor lock, it'll shut off and go into Guardian mode. So you have to press the button, hold it down. It takes like 2 minutes for it to boot back up. And by that time you're off your spot, or maybe you need to get on that trolling motor to chase a fish down that you have hooked. But that would happen a dozen times a day, 20 times a day, 30 times a day. It would. It was super, super annoying. So I'm gonna be looking at some other options for 2021, and here they are. I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking right now. So Ultrex. So I don't want to go back to an Ultrex because I believe that they're going to change their technology. And maybe it's too soon by next year, but I think they're going to have a brushless technology. And I do appreciate the fact that it's very quiet. I like that technology. So I don't know if I'm going to go with an Ultrex just yet or go back to an Ultrex. There's rumor that Power Pole's coming out with one. And if that is the case and it's ready by the time my boat's ready to go, I'm going to have a Power Pole trolling motor on this boat, because it can't be any worse than my Garmin, you know what I mean? And Power Pole puts out some really good product, great customer service. So I'm willing to take that gamble with, first year of new equipment, which is what I did with this Garmin. So the Garmin has let me down. It was very frustrating. Could they fix it? Maybe they would have some, maybe they'll get better next year. I don't know. If Power Pole doesn't come out with a trolling motor, then I may just have to go back to, I may have to go with the Garmin again next year. I'll have a backup with me, I guess, and I'm gonna get the longer shaft one, just so maybe that'll help keep me out of, keep it from stopping. I'm not sure. I guess let's give it a few months and see what happens. Let's see if there's any changes to it, but more than likely, I'm fingers crossed that Power Pole is going to be coming out with one and have it ready and available for next season. I hope they do, because if they don't, I'm probably gonna have to stick with that Garmin, and I'm not looking forward to that. And you'll notice here, this is my fault. I just got into some shallow water and I took the skeg off. They have a new one that they're sending me, so nothing too serious. That was my own stupidity, trying to chase largemouth on a smallmouth bass fishery. My own fault. Never do that again. But as far as the brackets and everything, this is the original bracket. It's been very sturdy. You noticed I did take off that quick release by Minn Kota in the original video when we put this boat together this spring. I had it on there, but I found that it got really loose and it wasn't the right setup to have. The only reason why I had that quick release is because I thought if I needed to change a trolling motor quickly, it would help, but it's kind of pointless because this ain't like switching an Ultrex over and stuff. There's a lot involved when you have to put a new trolling motor on your boat, so having a quick release or not didn't matter. I still got to take it to a dealer because I'm just not at that point where I can efficiently and effectively put on a brand new trolling motor like this. It's more than just a couple bolts, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on up here, so this just stays flusher, more stable without having that quick release, at least on this boat. These steps, I only ran into them a couple times with my shins. I love them. I'm gonna keep that on the next boat moving forward. You know, I went with the standard tires, which I'm happy. Never had an issue with them. I've had issues with low profile tires before, but these have been great. No trailer issues this year, nothing. Everything's been great on this boat, except for that guy up front. So wrapping this video up, the biggest thing that blew my mind was the power pole charge system. Totally unreal. However it works, it works. The worst thing would be this Garmin trolling motor. They gotta make this right. Otherwise, it ain't gonna be working out. It's not gonna work out for me in the long run. So as I said, this boat will be for sale. If you're watching this video November, it should be ready to go. You know, it's not cheap. There's a lot of accessories and a lot of things added to this boat. So very low hours. I probably have, I'm guessing, 150, 160 hours on this one. That's it. So it's not too bad. You're gonna have a full warranty on the motor. Scratches, marks, man, I kept this thing beautiful. There is it looks brand new. There's not, it's a gorgeous boat. It's a gorgeous boat. We did a lot of fishing out of it, but I took care of it. Carpet's in great condition. Seats are perfect. The cowling's perfect. I mean, everything. It's perfect. I love it. So why am I getting a new boat? Because if I kept this boat another year, I'd put on another 150 hours. We'd be looking at 300 plus hours. And for me, it's just easier to sell them at the end of the year, get a new one, start fresh, and go. So for next year's boat, I'm gonna be going in here and ordering that soon. I gotta think of the color. So I'm thinking about switching some things up. So I always like that blue, gray, black. So I always like a blue and a silver and black. But I'm thinking about going more silver on the interior and having silver be the main color of the boat with some blue highlights and then maybe a little bit of black as well. I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. All right, I'm gonna go see if I can order a new one, and I'm gonna take this boat home, get it rigged up, because I'm heading up to the St. Lawrence River. Midnight, about 11 tonight, I'll leave. Hopefully be fishing by 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and catch some big old smallmouth. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, until next time, we will see you guys on the water.